Hi, this is Isabel. Welcome to my channel. So I'm wearing the t-shirt, by the way, on the Swiss challenge, which is my program online. So I will post the link below to watch the webinar. And of course, all the topics I'm talking about in my YouTube channel are covered during this program, which really teaches you how to get a job in Switzerland, even though you have no experience. So there's a process for this that I go in depth in and give you a lot of resources also to get this achieved. Of course, you're part of a group and you're supported in this group, etc. So I really advise you watch the free webinar. It's going to take you 44 minutes basically, and you also get the list of all the placement agencies in Switzerland. So 44 minutes of watch time, a list of all the placement agencies in Switzerland. I think it's going to be a good use of your time. So this video is about work permits. So this is something that a lot of people are asking me questions on. It's very popular in my channel, I know. And I've basically communicated in the last years that getting a work permit in Switzerland is quite difficult. And I still believe this. However, I still think that there's a way to get a work permit. If you really want it, again, if it's something that you want to achieve, there's always ways that you can work on your profile to get this work permit. So I give you 3 tips today on how to get a work permit in Switzerland. So the first one and the easiest one, of course, is to be transferred by your company. So if you work in a country right now where you have, let's say you work for a multinational that has offices everywhere in the world, it's going to make your life a lot easier to just go with the multinational and get appointed in Switzerland. That's how I came to Switzerland, my first job. I know a lot of friends, expat also did it this way. It's basically a no-brainer because you don't have to do anything. You just come with your company. They usually will help you find an apartment, for example. They will pay for your expenses at the beginning. So if you're a manager or above, you will be taken care of by your company. So you come to Switzerland with resources, basically. Now, I explained in my webinar how that ended very drastically for me and how I had to get back on my feet. So the story I also told on this channel about a job loss and how to transform that to get a job in Switzerland. So you're welcome again to watch the video. So basically, getting a work permit, the easiest way is to come as a transfer. The second way to get a work permit in Switzerland is to really have an objective and know that your profile is marketable in Switzerland. So again, in my program, there's a little test that people do to find out how they fare in terms of skills with the Swiss market. It's a little Excel spreadsheet, and one client sent me a message saying that she could visibly see where her weaknesses were to get back on her feet and improve. So for example, if you do the test, you find out you lack language skills, or maybe you lack networking skills, which is huge in Switzerland. So it gives you a little bit of an idea. Now I can tell you in this video in short that what you need is definitely language skills, very good language skills, including French and Swiss German if you're able. That's going to is going to be a huge help for you. The second thing that's going to help your market potential is also to know networking. So if right now your networking in Switzerland just seems very, very impossible for you, again, I suggest my program where I give you a lot of resources on how to network in Switzerland. You're part of a group on Facebook. I give you also all the information that I get from the hidden market, meaning job vacancies that are not visible by anyone else but me. I give you also information from my network, which is not visible. So again, watch this webinar and you get information on the program and see if that would be a match for you. But basically, networking skills is going to help you in terms of meeting the right people, connecting with the right people, so that you're not wasting time being on the open market with every other expat trying to find work in Switzerland. So if you're just applying online, you're one in a dozen, chances are the employer won't make a work permit for you because they will immediately see that you're non-EU. That's the first thing they will notice. It will be in their face, literally. Now, if you go to a conference, let's say, I'll give you the other example so that you understand why I think it's not a doom type of thing to be non-EU. Let's say you go to a conference, you meet with a CEO or a startup owner, and let's say you have you have programming skills, and you're, or maybe you're a developer or something like that. You meet them in a conference, you start talking, maybe you have some lunch together. Maybe you talk about the conference together. They have a great contact with you. You exchange business cards. Maybe you follow up with an email afterwards, which leads into a Skype call. And the next thing you know, they really like you. It's just a people thing. They really like you. They connected with you. They don't care that you have a non-EU. All they see is that they connect with you, that they would love working with you, that you'd be a great addition to their team and you do good work for them. I know clients all the time from other countries who contact me, and I know they have great skills. I know that they're super qualified. They already did the work for big companies. They just don't know how to connect with those local people. They're a bit afraid, to contact them. Sometimes as an expat, you feel a little bit lower as well if you come to Switzerland. So I talk about this in my program, how to get to this network and how to show the great person that you are so that people see you as a person first and it's not the permit first. I know all the opportunities I had coming my way the last years. It's not about my resume. My resume was maybe asked of me later on just to do the paperwork and know, what details to put in the contract. But the opportunities came because people met me at a networking event. They thought I was probably impressive or what have you. And the way I talked, the way I was confident, talked about my experience, etc. And I remember the last opportunity I had was that we really like your profile, could you send us a resume because we want to consider you for a teaching opportunity. And I thought, well, why not? And the resume came as step number 2. Step number 1 was first meeting the person directly. So think about that a little bit. Think about how your process right now, how you're applying for work. I probably guess people watching my channel, it's 99% online and via the open market, I call it. So think about that. Think about how your job search strategy right now, maybe you want to review for the fall. Maybe you want to consider my program as a way to shift towards maybe more networking and getting into the hidden market and going at it that way. I mean, you think about the time you're going to spend applying online and not getting replies. Not only you're not going to get your dream, which is a job in Switzerland, but on top of that, you're probably going to be demotivated overall. So you're not going to get that job and you're not going to get any other jobs either because you're going to be so demotivated. So it's a little bit of a pity there. So remember, if you want to get a work permit, it's not about applying online. Just try to meet people in person. So that's step number 2. And step number 3, you also have the opportunity to work with legal agencies. There's a lot of them in Switzerland. You need to have a chat with them to see if they can help you. I know people who tried this. It can work depending on your field, what you do. Are you an entrepreneur in Switzerland? Are you going to bring people to the market, give jobs to people in your market and build opportunities in Switzerland? They will look at this. So if you're coming with an idea that's going to bring cash to the region and you're going to hire people, so you're bringing value, they may want to do a work permit for you. But again, you need a business plan and something in place for that. So that's a separate thing. The last thing where you can get a work permit is to work for international organizations. So that's going to be also extremely helpful. If you work in development, you're a diplomat, something like that, then you're outside of the Swiss process and you can get a job that way. So I go in depth in that also in my program about the not-for-profit development opportunities to check that. I have also some people that work for the UN. That's obviously one that's very known. So I usually share the link with you, unjobs.org. That's probably your best bet as an expat to get into Switzerland, in Geneva at least, with a non-EU work permit because they can hire globally and they're probably the most open to international applications. So I hope this was helpful. As usual, feel free to comment. Let me know also what you want to hear about during the summer. It's a slow time. So again, I would really encourage that this is the best time to actually be active before everyone starts applying again in the fall. So I will talk to you soon.